warmly welcome you all here over 3 days. We're full with, I think, 10 or 12 moderation sessions. We have enterprise voice data, IoT. What else do we have, Laura? We have everything, right? Oh, the awards. We have also the awards, right? And then we have a big party afterwards. So thank you for coming. Thank you for joining. And I hope you're going to enjoy the coming 3 days. Having said that, opening up today, we're talking about the marketing, the messaging market today and tomorrow, and capitalizing on the APIs. So how do we do it? And what can we learn from it? And where are the challenges and the opportunities? I'm so happy and proud to have Carla, Paolo, Chandar, and Igor here with me. I'll give them a quick minute to introduce themselves, and then we'll immediately move in. 40 minutes, and we're going to make it a blast. So thank you again for joining. And Carla, if I may start with you, please, the floor is yours.
Good morning, all. Thank you first for this invite. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I'm Carla Oliveira. I'm the head of sales for wholesale at Go4Mobility. And I know that you all know Go4Mobility, right? So Go4Mobility is a mobile provider with digital solution for all our customers, retail customers, wholesale customers. So we provide SMS solutions, A2P, two-way messaging, and also voice solutions, DIDs, voice transits. So anything that helps our enterprises, the customers, to communicate with their customers as well. Thank you.
So thank you very much, and welcome to you. Now let's go. Unfortunately, Chandar from Bankai Group could not join us live, but I'm more than happy, proud, and honored to have him at least virtual here with us. So Chandar, good day to you.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. Whosoever are there in Berlin, and it's my pleasure to be the part of this session. Unfortunately, I'm not here because there were other work commitments in Africa. I just traveled back to India again, traveling after 2 days. So myself, Chandrahas Rana, I head the business development for Bankai Group. We are a conglomerate into business from last more than 30 years. And when it comes to our product portfolio, we cover international voice, messaging, firewall, virtual number, as well as on technology side, we have our own revenue assurance, fraud management, and mobile money solutions. Overall, we are a more than $1 billion company now with more than 1,100 plus employees and a global presence into more than 20 plus countries. I'm honored to be the part of this session.
Thank you so much, and you're more than welcome, and thank you for spending your time with us here together. So, Paolo, good morning.
Thank you, sir. Well, thank you, and good morning. Good evening, everyone. My name is Pablo Obligota. I'm here representing EN Group, or Etisalat, as we normally are named. Hopefully, giving you guys in this panel the MNO perspective. I'm leading both the roaming, the international roaming, and the mobility services, which includes messaging as well for the group.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Good. Yeah. Does this gentleman need any introduction? Maybe for the happy few who do not know Igor yet, but please, Igor.
Thank you very much, Eric. My name is Igor Skutsinia. I'm a senior business development manager for Telekom. I'm covering the RCS functions, and I'm also administrating the process with our fraud management solutions that we develop in-house. As an aggregator, we work with voice and SMS, terminating more than 4 billion of minutes, more than 4 billion of SMS every year. And we definitely are developing those services and the new ones as well. Thank you.
Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, again, welcome to the session, and thank you to all my panelists. Messaging market today and tomorrow, capitalizing on the API. Igor, if I may start with you, the messaging landscape. Let's start from there. What trends do you see? What key concerns are facing the traditional SMS market today? Is IoT jumping in? Give us an overview. What do you see?
We see the generic trend that kind of is consequential to is kind of affecting everything else is that the market is growing and it's growing pretty rapidly. The demand is growing. Sadly, the prices are also growing, but that means that in kind of in monetary value, the market is becoming larger and larger. And we understand that with those increased market comes some challenges that are to be expected, and they're pretty natural to occur. First of all, the fraud in messaging is becoming more and more prominent. It's large enough to be on the radar of both regulators and enterprises. We see that in North America, for example, they are developing stir shaking for messaging. We'll see what it's going to be, but still, it's large enough so that regulators pay attention to it. Also, the artificial inflation of traffic is getting very large, sadly. When the enterprises such as Twitter, such as some European companies also, they're paying attention to it. And we see that with this market growth, it's natural that the fraudsters would realize that this is kind of a lucrative field for what they do. Another challenge would be that the messaging market is not an SMS market. And we see the development of competing channels such as OTT, such as other messengers, perhaps. Well, everyone knows that the WhatsApp claims about there are more than 3 billion people customer base, et cetera, et cetera. So we see those trends, but the generic thing that kind of is an umbrella that covers it all is that the market is growing, and it's great for business, to be honest.
Okay, thank you, Chandra. As a global player, what can you share with us with regards to the market trends? What do you see around you? What's happening?
Yeah, see, Eric, when you talk about messaging, what I feel is message is very segmented market. Like if you go to Africa, still it's dominated on USSD as well as other channels. So overall, if you see like all the talk about A2P messaging or all that, most of the wholesale carriers generally talk about international trends, like where rates are increasing from 5 cents to 10 cents across the markets, where there is a challenge on inflated traffic side as well. But when you club domestic as well as international A2P market, what I feel is this is one of the most exciting market that is growing 30% year on year. Like for an example, when I started in Africa 2013 or 14, 80 to 90% mobile money or other transactions were happening through USSD. But what is happening right now, all the operators in various markets, they are using all latest tools, be it through APIs, be it through platforms, or be it through two-way messaging channels on UCaaS model. They are serving their customer for mobile money as well. So what I feel is there are two dimensions to think on A2P market. One is domestic market, one is international market. Within messaging space, then there is a regional segmentation as well. Like Africa is still 10 years behind, where like only 40 to 30% of the subscribers are on 4G or LTE networks. When it comes to aggressive market penetration side, Southeast Asia and South America are very aggressive, and where already market penetration is there. North America and western side of Europe, they are going as per their pace, and I see the most consistency in those markets. So overall, it's very segmented market. You need to kind of segment it as per the domestic A2P, international A2P, as well as geography wise. But overall, this is a very exciting market space today, growing at 30%. There are some challenges that Igor mentioned about inflated traffic or all that. But again, in every growing market that is growing at 30, 40%, there would be some challenges. And maybe next 12 to 18 months, we will see market kind of getting more rational, and most of the bottlenecks should be sorted out.
Thank you. And I mean, let me be clear. I don't like fraud. I mean, it jeopardizes the whole business, whatever business, if it's voice, data, what have you. It doesn't matter. But on the other hand, it's also a compliment, because you mentioned the 20 to 30%, growth. I mean, increase year on year still, even until 2025, I would say. But it's also a compliment, so that they, the bad guys and the bad boys, they still see that there is something to grab for them, which we need to fight. But we'll get to that. And as Igor said, I mean, fraud is still a big issue and a huge challenge, because we're always behind. But again, I mean, on the positive note, we could see it a little bit as a compliment, right? I mean, we need to get positive things out of the market, right? So, Carla, market trends. What do you see around you, and what kind of demands do you see? What's happening?
Well, tradition is not the same anymore. So on messaging is the same. We are seeing that OTT apps is around. With the apps like Facebook, chat, Messenger, all of these apps are doing really impacting the SMS messaging. So customers want to receive the notification through different channels. Also, the omni-channel is growing, and I believe that IoT is also impacting the communication. We are gathering information for all of our customers through IoT apps, and we can analyze, we can see the behavior and communicate better to our customers. So I see that we have a long way with huge challenges. Also, as Igor said, the fraud is having a huge impact in the market. But I believe that SMS keeps growing, and the customers, the businesses are still willing to send message and have the SMS as a way to communicate.
Okay, thank you. Although WhatsApp for Business and RCS and guys, it's all around the corner. Paolo, what do you see around you? What do you see? I mean, as a global player, what's up?
So I'm gonna build on what Carla and Igor and our friend Chandler said. SMS is a 35-year-old technology, and it's still here. I mean, I've been hearing for a while that, hey, this thing is dead. It's old-fashioned.
My mommy is still using it.
Yeah,
you know,
160 characters, and that's it. You cannot do. But
took 5 years for her to get it. But anyway,
but she got it right.
But you got it.
And that's the thing. And it's a technology that is very, very effective. Continues to be effective. That's why you see the continuous growth, right? So, from our perspective, if you put something as a channel that opens up 98% of the time in 90 seconds or less, and gets the message through, and the click-through ratio is one of the highest. I think it's 40%. So compared with 1.7% of email. So when you see those metrics, any marketeer, any user of the technology will say, yeah, absolutely, this is effective. Now, on the backflip of that vision is that it is polluted. I think we got bad players coming in and leveraging two things: the growth and also the cost. It's not, I could put it this way, the AIT fraud, the artificial inflated traffic, started come up with those exclusive deals that, different players stroke with MNOs, where they're the only entry point or exit point on a specific network. And that means that they control the pricing. When the prices start going up, that inflated traffic start coming in. It's a one-to-one correlation. And you don't see that in countries like Colombia or Turkey, where the price of the SMS is down. So go back in time and think how WhatsApp was born. It was born out of the fact that the SMS was charged. It was an expensive service. Arbitrage created WhatsApp. Arbitrage is creating AIT. So I think the next evolution of this business will be on understanding the price points, the elasticity of a service, and mainly cleaning the ecosystem. I mean, honestly, from an MNO perspective, we want to serve those OTTs. We want to serve the Googles of the world, the Meta of the world, in a clean environment. So I think that's the challenge moving on. You asked for the challenges and opportunities. Opportunities are there for sure, but the challenge is let's run a clean ecosystem so we can entertain more customers.
So Igor, did Twitter's announcement a couple of months ago change the landscape?
I think it did. The thing is, it's very important for enterprises to recognize this threat. That means it's large enough and it's evident enough. The thing is, we reported about AIT some time ago at I think it was Mobile Ecosystem Forum. Our head of sales and procurement messaging, Vladimir Smal, did that. But the thing is that the problem expectedly didn't take care of itself. So it's large enough so that the regulators and prominent figures like Elon Musk are actually addressing it and just saying, look, we don't have to use SMS. And the difficult thing is that with development of competing channels like OTTs and like flash calls, there is a chance that maybe at some point they would be able to some extent get rid of SMS at these prices with all these challenges, maybe being viewed as unaddressed. They have flash calls, they have WhatsApp that is now very, very prominent. So I think that the operators and aggregators obviously must be addressing this issue. It's not just a major problem. It's a major problem that could be the thing that actually tanks down the industry.
Is the wake-up call, Chandra?
Eric, of course, because see, if you see the average SMS rates for international A2P like 5 years back used to be around 3 to 4 cents. But today, if you see some specific markets, for example, North Africa, western side of Africa, or for that example in CIS as well, it's already about 7 to 8 cents. If you go deep down to Bangladesh, you deep down Indonesia market for A2P messaging per message cost is somewhere around 15 cents. So it's, what I feel is somewhere like operator as well as aggregators needs to take a call. To send a single message, if you need to shell out the same amount, like for example, Indonesia, voice termination per minute is 2 or 3 cents. For A2P message, it's somewhere around 15 cents. So in what sense operator are kind of encouraging the OTTs to use the other mediums to send their A2P messages. Lots of OTTs are talking about in-app solutions. They are talking about flash call solutions. So somewhere I feel that onus is on the carrier services industry, where operators, aggregators need to sit down, and we need to kind of create a balance that let us have a joint call, like for this particular market, let us not take rates above 5 cents. Even in markets like India, where like we do like when it comes to domestic messages, average A2P messages every day are 1.5 billion to 2 billion. That we charge like 100th of a cent. But for international side, operator has increased that to 5 to 6 cents. Where even on India, like where yearly messages are somewhere around 20 to 25 billion. So even operators wants to make money on these services. It's not only on the aggregator side. Sometimes like we are also into exclusivity. We deal with many operators. We already have 3-4 exclusivities with us on operator side. We deal with operator. From our side, we tell them don't take markets beyond 7 cents or 6 cents, but still they have revenue pressure or they have cash flow pressure from their management, and the deals coming from operators are like high 7-8 cents. Then aggregator needs to sell that at 10 or 11 cents to make out the money. So somewhere around there has to be a balance, and there has to be synergy between operator and aggregator. That way we can protect this industry. Otherwise 15 cents for a message, 20 cents for a message, within next 2-3 years messages will at least some part of messages will move to other channels, of course.
Okay. Igor, you want to step in?
Sure. I think it's important to add what actually is enabling the market members to actually drive the prices up. It's the fact that these statistics are still of the opening rate and the delivery rate are still on a table by other channels. And what happens is when the enterprises spend $1, $1.50, $2 to attract the customer, it doesn't make any sense. For now, it doesn't make any sense for them to save 10 to 15 to 20 cents per one delivered one-time password. Because if the other channel, the competing channel that is cheaper, is not able to deliver those messages, those one-time passwords, then they lose the marketing costs of $1, $2 that they already spent. And this is the leverage that the industry still has on enterprises. But would it actually stay like this? Would it actually stay for long? I mean, I'm not saying extortion, but the thing is, someday it might end with all those competing channels, with flash calls actually being with a very rapid rise, with some reports just saying that it's going to be 10 times more, 20 times more, 30 times more by the year 2025. It's very important to consider that this thing maybe will not go on forever.
Paolo, you want to step in here?
No, we're spinning around the same concept, which
There you
is elasticity of demand and the price. If you guys are not too old, but callback, remember the callback scenario where you make a long distance call by hanging out?
Look at me because
No, I'm not looking at you. I
Because
mean,
I'm
I said-
young guy.
No, I mean, probably you read this in Wikipedia or something. Yeah. But if you guys recall in the old days, the long distance call was like a minute, $1 per minute.
I don't remember.
You don't remember? Okay. So you make a phone call, you
We
hang
can
up,
see that.
and then a server will call you back. So that created is called a callback situation. That pretty much killed the voice business until the operators came down in price. Then the whole scenario was not worth it, and those guys disappear. Now you're making phone calls through WhatsApp, through different applications is clear. But going back to the concept, it's arbitrage again. And if you look at the CPaaS consumption, which we'll get in there as we go into APIs, but CPaaS, there's reports that 85% of the traffic that CPaaS generates is in 4 applications: is SMS, email, voice, and WhatsApp. Those are the 4. 5 years from now, those 4 continue to run 82, 83% of the total CPaaS. So yeah, it is effective, but as Igor said, you can pivot among the other 4 and get creative things like flash calling that will solve a specific issue. SMS is mainly OTP and alerts and real-time notifications. For marketing now, that business is moving away. The marketing part is moving slowly into the WhatsApp, email, RCS. So the challenge for us as an industry is to really keep the value as we were discussing here, and making sure that we continue to drive that service. 35 years old service, very effective, but now the technology has evolved so much that I agree with Igor, we're in serious risk of losing it.
Carla?
Yes.
Right?
I don't remember but I know that the business is different. It's difficult. Fraud is very challenging. We have the Twitter announcement that I really don't know if they are trying to eliminate the two-factor authentication, because with the level, with the high subscription, the blue subscription, you have the possibility to work with the two-factor authentication. But we are observing different ways to secure accounts, as the other tech giants, as Google, as Apple, that are adapting safer passkeys with biometric sensors, with fingerprints that will allow users to log their accounts as well. So it's going to be challenging, but I believe that all of us, all the industry, we need to be aware of all data, all reporting, do this kind of discussions, and see how it goes, and adjust our business models.
Okay, let me quickly go to the audience, because I see that that a couple of hotshots just joined the discussion. So, I mean, we can do this interactive. Do you see any, let's say, things? I mean, except from fraud, but is there anything that you can add and maybe help us with to join the discussion and say, listen, guys, watch this. Eugene, please.
Yes, good point. Yes, thank you. 2 points. First of all, 30% growth. 4% of that is official generated. But the other point I want to make is, we're talking about trends. No one really talked about prepayment deals that are out there, and what effect that is having into the marketplace. So I think it's great for you guys to comment about prepayments.
Okay, Igor, take them on.
Sure. About AIT, I would say that it's kind of difficult to assess the amount of AITs going up, because it's not even. It's not evenly distributed. It's heavily depending on the cost of individual SMS. And whenever you would have the markets that are significantly a lot more expensive, you will see a lot more AIT in there. If your SMS is costing more than 15 cents, well, I mean, you will see a major double-digit percentage, 30%, 40% sometimes in some cases of being AIT, because you know how the villain in Iron Man 2 put it, when there's blood in the water, the sharks will come. So this is essentially when there's a market that is actually letting them earn. This is the case for AIT to go.
Yeah, and I can take the second point.
On the prepaid, yeah.
Yeah, on the prepaid, I made that comment at the beginning of the panel. There is a correlation 1-to-1 on the surging of AIT with those type of deals, exclusive deals where you're committing revenues to the operator. And that revenue sometimes is, I mean, the highest bidder wins. The operator just wants to check and say, okay, you guys drive the price, you drive the volumes. And that triggered pretty much the AIT. So there is a correlation there. And when you're putting a number, whatever wins that deal, that is really over the threshold, that is forcing, because nobody wants to lose money in this deal, that is forcing the engine to start pumping traffic just to make that quota. And I think as an industry, when we talked at the beginning, is we got to shift that. I mean, I don't think that's the right way, but perhaps it's a middle point where, yeah, you want somebody as an exclusive to filter the great routing, filter everything, but not with such a commitment that you're forcing the whole ecosystem to play the game, right? So I think that's sort of our position on that. Igor?
If I could add kind of a motif that the operators might have for actually going for those prepayment deals. The thing is, voice that has been bread and butter for them for many years is actually declining. So the operators get less revenue. So they are tempted to get onto those deals that would, I mean, whatever they lose in voice, they would gain more in SMS, especially if someone comes with the money on the plate. And this is exactly what is going on. They're tempted to go for that because of declining of voice business, and the OBR didn't help as well. Because when you have governments saying, look, you cannot charge this much for voice and you have to decrease your prices. Well, the operators would like their balance sheet to look green, and they would like to grow year on year and increase their revenue. So if they would have another opportunity somewhere beyond voice, they will take it.
Does it answer your question, Jim? Partly.
I mean, I think you know, the question is, someone will feel they never make a percent. Some people hit certain revenue. It's not there.
That's good. Chandra, anything to add to the question from Gene?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear that because I think there was voice issue.
Okay. So let's move on, and thank you very much for your question, Gene. Thank you so much. Coming to the APIs, and Paolo, maybe I can start with you. How and what can we expect from utilizing APIs in the correlation to new services and on demand?
Yeah.
What can you share with us?
I think API is the new norm. I think after COVID or before COVID, there was some movement around it, but you heard companies like Twilio, Sinch, those big aggregators going straight native on API. So Twilio was the first one, full force. And that really helped the whole ecosystem. For 2 years, they were dominating the space because they were really developer oriented. The way that Twilio put the business in, for us, it's a learning curve because we're telcos moving into the techco environment, the technology space, but we're not coder or developer native. These guys were coming from that world, and they plug into the telco world pretty easily. We have to go the other way around, go into the API world, and then present the same value to customers. But everyone is consuming services like this. I mentioned the top 4 via APIs. So I don't see any other way at this point. Now that drives the orchestration layer for this type of services, where you combine the different sources to make the communication more effective. So in order to do that, you need APIs. We as providers need to enable them. I know you heard there's a lot going on about opening up a network APIs. So we put out in the market different information points and data points that everyone can leverage, like cell sites or consumption per cell site and so on. But on the messaging side, it is the only, I will say this is the only way forward.
Okay, thank you. Chandar, want to jump in here?
Yeah, Eric, what I feel is APIs are already here since last 5-10 years. As one of panelists mentioned about videos of cinch of the world. But what I feel is in last 2-3 years, at least in Southeast Asia, APIs are moving beyond voice and messaging. What I feel is it's more interactive channels that APIs are tapping. For example, what Generation Z or like new age customer wants is they want more analytics, they want more real-time engagement. So that's where APIs are very handy. And with the advent of 5G networks or 6G networks in some part of the world, API will play a very important role when it comes to enterprise messaging space. At least on enterprise messaging space, that's the way to move forward.
Okay, thank you, Carla. Anything to add? Or the
Yes.
gen-
I believe there's a positive correlation between both. APIs will help us to flexibilize the communication, to create new functionalities, and to have more time to think with other things, and not to spend so many times creating the new functionalities. So today we've easier with an API, we can create a new services connecting customers to providers, service like food delivery, ride sharing. So this is possible because of APIs, and I believe we must not ignore the API on messaging.
Okay. Igor, will you smash it or do you agree?
Sure. I mean, I can kind of give an overview that basically with the success of any kind of products, this is economics 101. You have to have product, price, place, and promotion. And place being actually,
You're going back to my old marketing books, man.
there you go. There you go. And place, how difficult it is for the consumer to attain your product. Like how near is the nearest store or warehouse, etc. And the APIs is basically the telecom way to put the warehouse as close to the enterprise, as close to your trade partner as possible. Just make it easy for them to get your product or service. And this is a great example for a movement like this.
Okay, all right. Having said that, what do we need to do? Carla, what do we as an industry need to do to make sure that we keep the sustainable growth, what is the path? I mean, where should we go? What's your idea? What's your vision?
My vision, and I believe go for mobility as well. We need to adjust the business models. We need to take a look of the market, see the trends, see that the RCS it's going to be the future.
Is it? Let me quickly, sorry to interrupt you. Let me go to the audience. Manuel, I mean, CEO of Mobitex, 6 countries in LATAM. What's your view? Is RCS?
RCS has been always there.
Well, we had a dip just before, prior to COVID, right?
RCS has been always there, but it's not there. So I think it's more than an illusion of the market and of the operators. There is a huge necessity about it. You know, it's a competing technology for WhatsApp and all similar technologies, but operators are not cooperating to actually bring it forward. I've been doing it myself, you know, sitting with operators, evangelizing that technology, but we don't see it. You know, we need it as a marketing tool. We need it as a competing tool with WhatsApp, definitely. But in LATAM, it's far away.
Okay.
I believe,
Yeah, go in. Go.
I believe that we have some barriers to the introduction of the RCS. He mentioned the operators. We have the Apple position as well, but it's going to be the future, and we need to keep our eyes open because everyone is asking for this, and I'm an aggregator, and I need to be aware of all these trends as well.
Okay, Rico, my friend, what do you think? Is RCS the future? Will it be there?
Would be, I don't need it.
He's just shouting so loud.
Sorry.
Thank you, Rico.
Thank you. I think RCS in really long term could be the future, but right now I guess still it's on the track, because right now I guess it's more or less much more let's say profound and vision, and it's a concept at the moment, in my opinion. And right now, because if you look at the all the applications, and as well as all the let's say messaging exchanges, it's still there. Let's say we are on the very traditional ways, and there are thousands of new apps, and in terms of the chat apps and so on, are still emerging. So RCS is a very good concept. Personally, I'm not really an expert on that, but I think it's really a good concept. It's a concept for long term. Yes, we're going to get there, but by the end of the day, what is really RCS? It's still pretty much, for me, a question mark, because everything is evolving. I mean, technology, 5G, and also the business model, as Carter just mentioned. It's going to be totally a revolutionary stuff, maybe. But if you ask me in 2023 and 24, if that will be the future now for our messaging, or where we should go, I don't think so. It's not that fast. And because the key thing, I believe, it's not really everyone think through already what it has to be by the end of the day. So could be a pretty good future. But what will be the full picture of this RCS? I think for me, at least, it's still a question mark. So it's happy to be here and learn and discuss, exchange ideas, and maybe finally we're going to reach there. Hopefully, it's still named as RCS as a concept, or as let's say in the real world application. That's my view. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing, Rico. Igor?
Yes, I think that the RCS is going with exactly the speed as fast as we're dragging it. It does require work. It does require investment. It does require resources. And whenever the messaging aggregator would have a choice whether to invest the resources in the market that just inherently growing, like the SMS with double digits every year, or the service that requires effort, requires resources, and when the success is uncertain, many messaging aggregators are tempted to go with SMS and kind of have the RCS on the back burner. But the thing is, those that are actually active in the RCS field, they are defining the standards, they're creating those exclusive deals, and they're just making sure that the enterprises, when they will be including RCS in the mandatory service, when they will be choosing the partner, they will be going for those that have RCS. So, and this is a very nice bet for the future, I think.
Okay, Chandra, you want to jump in here? What's your opinion?
Yeah, see, I will add to the other panelist comments that, see, RCS still lots to catch up there in that particular arena, because if you see today, only more than 100 plus networks, or only 1.5 billion plus subscribers around the globe has the access of RCS. If you talk about entire Africa, barring some North African countries or Southern African countries, people still are on 3G networks. And the second, what I feel is what point we are missing on enterprise space. Yes, there is a fantastic use case for RCS, but on P2P side, I really don't see that there would be any challenge to existing WhatsApp and Facebook messengers for RCS. And the second is like Google did their pilot in India 1.5 years back for RCS. And you'll be amazed to know within 2 months, they needed to stop it due to spamming. So on one way, we are saying that RCS is the most secure way of messaging platform that will be evolved. But within 2 months, that being kind of polluted by the enterprises. So still it's work in progress. And in next 2-3 years, we maybe, because what we are seeing lots of 5G rollouts in different part of the world. Within Africa, 5-7 countries already rolled out 5G networks, and we foresee that in 3 to 5 years, world would be more even when it comes to network symmetry side. Then there can be an RCS business case on the table. Right now, what I feel, it's a very good concept, at least on enterprise messaging space, I see it has great future in coming days. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. You mentioned the coming 2 to 3 years. Let's talk about that. What is, let's do a sort of a closing round here quickly, because we have another huge number of panels coming up. So, Paolo, if I may start with you, what's your outlook? What's your takeaway for the full audience here?
Okay, I think, I personally believe that messaging will not go away ever. So this is a fact of the trajectory that we have seen, what the market needs. What we need as an industry is to really clean the ecosystem. I think we need to also look at the business model. The fact that Twitter left the ecosystem is because Elon Musk saw a bill of $60 million for something that's it. Why we're doing this?
And 5 billion left.
Yes.
Where's the 55?
Yeah. So there's a point where it says, hey, somebody didn't see the value, and it was a big guy, a decision maker. And I think as an industry, we need to take that message very, very seriously. So cleaning, changing the business model. Not sure if transactional is the model moving forward. RCS presents a good options as far as going rev share, different ways that we can do this that will entice enterprises to join. Putting those APIs in front of them, make it really, really digital native, not a telco, but a digital backbone for enterprises at all. SDK, make it really digestible, not as a telco.
Make it
plane.
funky.
Exactly. And then I think what is changing is that the consumer now is Gen Z, and millennials are even going away from that cycle. They're already mainstream. But if you think who's going to consume the service, that requires a different set. But again, the core, what we do is definitely there. I believe that it has a lot of value, but we got to shift, those 4 or 5 factors that I just mentioned.
Okay, Carla?
I believe the core is going to be there, but we need to see forward and to adjust the business models, to do partnerships, and the partnerships is no longer only with carriers and aggregators, is with chatbots, with messaging platforms and other players in the market. And for me, the future looks like pretty challenging. And the communication, the enterprises will still communicate with their customers. So we have space, we all have space to do our work. And it's going to be with RCS, with the omni-channel communication, with the new security measures to prevent fraud. But it's still, I believe there's 2 ways to see the future. One is as a concern, and the other that I believe, me and Go for Mobility, I believe it's going to be a great opportunity to adapt our business models and to grow.
So for you, the glass is half full instead of half empty. Okay,
For sure.
let's go to Delhi. Chandler, your closing statement, my friend. How does the
See,
future look?
what I feel is world has already moved toward platform economy. Like in last 5-10 years, if you see one of the biggest brands, those you see in different industries, like you talk about Telekom today, Twilio is a big brand. That's a platform. When you talk about e-commerce, Amazon is a big brand, and Flipkart in India is a big brand. When 10 to 20% of the world GDPs are moving toward platforms, so API would be the kind of is going to be the rock for that. So messaging, API, and platform economy are the future for next 10 years, and it will keep on growing for next 1 decade at least, 10 to 20% year on year. This is my take, and this is what I'm feeling in different part of the world.
Thank you, and my greetings to Delhi, my friend. Thank you. So, Igor,
Yes.
tell us, enlighten us.
Yeah, I think that the tendency of messaging market growing in double digits, it's going to continue. There is a lot of room for growth. Major businesses, they are not using even the SMS to full extent. They don't actually address the full value that the SMS is providing. And I think that overall messaging market would do just great. The thing is, if the aggregators and other members of the market would like to stay and grow along with it, they must be developing new skills, new services, new chances for their clients to address their customers. And this is going to be the kind of the way for the messaging aggregators and operators to grow and maybe kind of introduce changes to their business, because there will be some technologies you cannot do it all at once. So either you develop some things in-house, or you develop or you actually acquire a company that does. So also that would be, I would assume there will be some merger and acquisitions just in terms of vertical integration of services.
Okay, thank you. All right, guys. I think we came to the end of this first session. I know it's difficult. Everybody was thinking about that coffee, whatever. But I would like to thank, first of all, my panelists for being here, Carla, Paolo, Chandra, and Igor. Thank you so much. I know there are a zillion questions actually coming from this this panel session, because you think, yeah, but you did not talk about this and this and this. Guys, we have today another 3 panel sessions going on. Everything, hopefully for you, will be discussed and in those panels. We cannot squeeze everything. Even if I would love to, then I would only have 1 panel a day, but no. So we will have other submatter expert topics coming on during the day, during tomorrow. And I would like to thank you dearly for showing up, coming here. Even Alexei in the back, thank you for coming, for joining. And thank you for your questions, Gene. Absolutely cool. Thank you so much. Appreciate it very much. Again, enjoy the days ahead. It will be some long days. Again, panelists, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay funky. This business is funky. So Chandra, ciao, 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 my friend. Talk soon.
Ciao.
See each other really fast. Thank you so much. Thank you.